What's up in War Eagle War Report family? It's your guy Ike Jones, and we are here with another great edition of Facts or Nah. This time it is the Iron Bowl edition. Yeah, man, we are here, War Report, talking a little Iron Bowl, brought to you as always by the good folks over at the Rogue Shop. Make sure you head over to rogueshop.com. You use code REPORT when you do to get a little something off on America's #1 online dispensary. Before we get over into the facts or not questions, just want to give kind of a little preface, a little preview for the game, and talk about some of the statistical things that might factor into everything going on. We look at the head-to-head between the two teams. You have Auburn up here at 432 yards per game. What's crazy is Auburn has more yards per game than Alabama at 419, but Bama's putting up more points at 36.2 versus the 28.8 for Auburn so far this season. 265.5 passing yards for Auburn per game, as opposed to 328.6 for Bama. Rushing yards per game slightly in favor of Bama at 181 versus the 171 for Auburn. The defense is pretty close. Bama less points per game surrendered this year at 17.6. Auburn limiting opponents to 20.7 points per game. 319.3 is the total defensive number. That's the difference. Auburn, again, limiting opponents to less yards per game, but giving up more points per game. So Auburn's got to find a way to get off the field on third down for sure. And we can look at third down defense another time. Pass defense in favor of Bama at 181.2. It's the rush defense that has Auburn in front here at 110 per game, as opposed to Bama giving up 143 yards per game. Our folks over at Vintage 2298 giving you the premium stats for today. Statistics are statistical leaders for each team are as follows. Payton Thorne with 2,400 passing yards already on the season, 24-12 at a 63.4% clip. Jarquez Hunter, the leading rusher at 1145, 6.6 yards per attempt. Keandre Lambert-Smith with 865 yards on the season, 20.6 yards per catch, which is crazy. 71 tackles for Dorian Mousey Jr. and Jaron Thompson tied with K.N. Lee for 2 interceptions on the season. Jalen Milroe, the leading passer for Alabama at 23.96, 65% on the season. He's also the leading rusher for Alabama at 615 yards on the season, 4.6 yards per attempt. The freshman Ryan Williams, if you guys didn't know, he is just 17. 804 yards on the season at 19.1 yards per catch. Jahad Campbell, the linebacker, with 99 tackles. Damani Jackson with 2 interceptions on the season for the Crimson Tide. Auburn's coming into this trying to get another victory, getting themselves bowl eligible. And what we want to do is answer some questions about this game, facts or not style. And in order to help me do that, I got my good friend over from the Up-Tempo podcast, Dustin. Dustin, how we feeling, man? We feeling good? Are you feeling okay about the Tigers' chances in this one?
Yeah, I actually predicted a win earlier on our live show today, and not only did I mean that with my heart, Ike, but I mean it with my head too. I really think that I just feel really good about this game. I feel good about the mindset of the team. I think that talent-wise, this is as close as Auburn has been to Alabama's roster in a long time, and I'm fired up to wake up tomorrow morning and watch the greatest rivalry in all the sports, man.
Absolutely the greatest rivalry in all of sports. As we are recording this, Ole Miss just won the Egg Bowl, and it was kind of a dud of a game. I mean, Mississippi State had their chances, but whatever, who cares? Hopefully anybody who was considering going to Ole Miss noted that absolutely awful atmosphere there at Ole Miss for their biggest rivalry game of the season. That stadium had no juice whatsoever in there.
It rarely does.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get over into this. We're going to start things off facts or not style. I will kick us off here. And an important statistic, in my opinion, is the ability to limit the legs of Jalen Milroe. He is the leading rusher on the year for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I noted that in the games that they've lost this season, opposing defenses have limited him to under 2 yards per carry. So the question here is, facts or not, can Auburn's defense duplicate that less than 2 yards per carry for one Jalen Milroe?
I'm going to say nah. I don't think he goes off. This is a big key to the game, obviously, because Alabama's win-loss record is kind of dependent on whether they get Jalen Milroe's legs going. I feel like he might bust a big one or two, at least a couple of runs that are big enough to get it up over two. Two's a low number.
It
I
is.
understand that sacks will knock it back and everything like that. So this is kind of, I'm interested to see how we play third downs. I want
Yeah.
DJ Durkin to bring the house. If DJ Durkin brings the house, I think you get some sacks and it's under two. But I haven't, that last week, A&M kind of converting on some of them third longs, and you dropping back in Crawford or in coverage and having a guy like Crawford getting pressure on first and second down, and then on third down you're dropping it back 10 yards from the snap. I didn't like that, and we've seen that enough this year to where it kind of gives me worry. So I'm going to go nah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to join you with this one and say, nah, even though I'd like to bug a little bit and think that, DeMarcus Riddick's prediction of not letting him outside of that pocket is going to come true. Jalen Milroe is a good athlete. I don't want to disrespect him and say that he doesn't have enough athleticism to be able to do that. And he's a different caliber of athlete from all of the other running quarterbacks that Auburn has had to face so far this season. They've done a good job against those rushing quarterbacks and being assignment sound, but Milroe's just a different kind of athlete. And if he gets on the perimeter, I think he's going to get some opportunities to get upfield and get some big gains. So I'm going to go nah on this one, but I do think that he is limited for the vast majority of this game.
All right, Ike, like you mentioned earlier, he's only 17 years old, Mr. Ryan Williams, the superstar wide receiver for Alabama. Auburn was heavy in this recruitment. It came down to the buzzer. Alabama pulls it out. DeMarcus Riddick has some interesting words this week. He said Ryan Williams is just another guy to me. I mentioned that recruiting process. It kind of feels personal. But look, he's a great player. He's one of the best players I've ever seen in high school, up close and personal. He's just electric. He's averaging 73.1 yards a game, Ike. Facts or nah, Ryan Williams over 73 yards tomorrow in the Iron Bowl.
I think I'm going to go facts on this one. I think that Auburn's going to do a tremendous job of trying to keep the ball out of his hands. I just think Ryan Williams is actually that good. I just think he's that good. And it's not going to take a lot of catches. If he gets 4 or 5 catches, he'll get over 73 yards in total. I just wonder what the remainder of the receivers are going to be able to do. I don't know that the rest of that receiving core is going to be able to do much of anything. But Auburn's going to make it tough on him. They're going to put a lot of press man coverage, I fear, and that's kind of where the issue comes in, because unless they're going to not let him get off of the line of scrimmage and literally bury him at the line of scrimmage every single play, he's going to find a way to get loose. They're going to have to marry that pass rush with the coverage there to keep him. I'll say that he'll get over 73 and say facts.
Okay. I'm going to go the opposite as you. I'm going to say nah. I'm going to say that he doesn't. If there's one thing that I am confident in, it is his Auburn secondary. And It's crazy to me how year in and year out guys change, coaches change, but yet that remains the same. And Ryan Williams is a great player, and he's going to continue to be great. And I hate the fact that we got to see him 2 more times after this one. But I like our guys. I like Jalen Crawford. I like K.N. Lee. He might have a big player.
Unless he gets frustrated in transfers.
They had a guy transfer to Texas that I didn't think was going to. You never know, right? You never know. And maybe if he wants to do that, I would suggest him maybe consider the team that he almost went to as an option.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. You thought Aiden Holloway started some stuff. That would really
not familiar with who. I don't know who that is. Anyway,
that would really get it going. But listen, man, I like our secondary a lot, and kind of goes back to the first one there. If you bring some pressure, then Blake brought this up earlier in our episode today. About the Jalen Milroe, the deep pass on the 4th and goal from that's the one that stands out. But the play before, you brought pressure and he freaked out and threw the ball a couple yards in front of the line of scrimmage. Bring pressure on him, bring the heat, and I hope DJ Durkin does that. But even if he doesn't, man, I like our secondary. Those guys are locked down. Ryan Williams will have a big player too. Watch him in the red zone. He might even get in the end zone. But 73 yards, I'm gonna go nah.
I feel you on that one. All right, let's go one more here before we get over into the chat. We know the key to this offense is number 27 getting the football. The question is, are the Auburn play callers finally going to get the memo in a game in which Bama's been giving up big rushing numbers? Facts or not, Jarquez Hunter gets at least 25 carries in his final Iron Bowl.
It has to be facts. It's facts, because there's no other answer to this. If you're Hugh Freeze, this has to be facts. Your 2 biggest wins of the year are Kentucky and last week versus Texas A&M, and it's obvious what the ingredient to getting that going was. Turn around, hand the ball to 27. You want to win and get an extra game, but this is your for sure last game with him. Right. Use him. He's not going to get gassed, Ike. I don't care what you tell me. The kid
Right.
squats 550 in cowboy boots. He dunks a basketball in cowboy boots. Like, he's one of the best athletes we've ever seen. And this Alabama defense has. I've watched them in some of these games where teams have continued to turn around and just hand it off and pound them over the course of 4 quarters. It's not a Nick Saban Alabama defense. They don't hit the same. They don't bring the juice the same. You can wear this team down. And there's nothing more demoralizing than a guy running through you for 3 quarters, and in the fourth quarter you brace up for him to run over you and he jumps over you.
All right.
That'll crush your spirit. So yeah, it has to be facts. If it's not, I'm really going to question the head coach and whoever is calling the plays.
Yeah, I think this one, again, for my sanity, needs to be facts. This, and as you said, for me, it is patience in the run game. Okay, it only got 2 yards here. Okay, it only got 3 yards here. Those 2 and 3 yards, when you just continue to hammer, eventually those are going to turn into broken tackles. Eventually, those are going to turn into home runs because they took the wrong gap just one time, or they got tired of Connor Lew coming downhill and smashing them on a gap scheme run. They got tired of Jeremiah Wright pulling around the freaking end and running over it. Like, eventually, it's going to just trickle through, and the cracks will show if you just show some commitment to it and some patience with it, and you mix it up with a little bit of quarterback run just when they think you're going to do it. Jarquez Hunter needs to get the ball 25 times. Let him go out with a huge Iron Bowl with some game-sealing runs there at the end. This one absolutely needs to be facts. All right, we're going to get over into the live chat and see what you all are talking about here. Our Green Name Gang is in here live recording with us. Before we do that, speaking of just giving it a little time and hammering it home, we got the good folks at Joy Mode who are sponsoring today's episode of Facts or Nah. 20% off plus free shipping when you use code REPORT at tryjoymode.com. It's a natural supplement that is not like something that you get over the counter, that has all these side effects. It's not like some cheap gas station pill that you go in there and you have this crazy reaction to. Joy Mode has a way to be able to help you with your cardiovascular health that gives you that little dose of extra oomph when you need it. Make sure you hit them up. Joy Mode, tryjoymode.com, 20% off plus free shipping when you use code REPORT. Let's get over here to the live chat, see what some of you all are saying, facts or non style. And we'll start it off with our guy, Dustin Pace, who says Payton throws for 200 yards in this. Facts or not, Payton Thorne for over 200 yards at least in this game. What are you feeling about that? Dustin answering the question from Dustin.
Facts. This is facts. Peyton's going to go over 200 yards in this one. I want Jarquez to be the focal point, but they're obviously going to key on that. I love the way that we've used Cam Coleman over these last couple of weeks and continue to do that. And then you got another guy in KLS who's the best receiver, most talented receiver, at least that I've seen at Auburn in a very long time. So, yeah, this one's going to be facts.
Yeah, I think I am going to go with facts on this one as well. Payton Thorne's been doing a good job. Despite the struggles that he's had, despite the inconsistency sometimes with, interceptions or turnovers in general, he's still been airing it out this season. Like, let's be clear, Payton Thorne has been airing it out on folks, and he's got some dynamic receivers. You already mentioned Cam Coleman and the way he's being utilized as more of a possession type of receiver for Payton Thorne and letting KLS be the guy to take the top off. It was pretty much the opposite early in the season where it was just all home runs to Cam Coleman and they were using KLS as more of the possession. They flipped those two roles, and I think it suits those players a little bit better. KLS has been adept at making those big catches down the field, and Cam Coleman, being the more big body receiver, has flourished in his ability to catch the ball on those short stop routes or whatever they're running on the outside. And he still has the ability to take the top off when you get a little flat footed on him. So I think I'll go with facts on that one as well with you. Next one here from Connor Hall, who says facts or nah. He adds another little element on this, 202 touchdowns for Payton Thorne. Can you give him the 2+2 on that one?
Give me nah on this one. I see us having to score in the red zone. I think scoring in the red zone is going to be very important in this game. And when you get down in the red zone, don't get too cute with it. And listen, Bama will give up. They'll give up some plays to the quarterback with his legs. So right. If I'm Auburn, I got Rivaldo, KLS, Cam Coleman. They're going to be keying on Jarquez. With all that going on, say you're on the 5 or 6 yard line, let Payton run to him.
I think he didn't specify, so I'm going to cheat.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
he didn't say passing touchdown, so I'll go facts and say maybe he gets 1 and 1.
Okay.
right? Maybe he
I like
throws for
that.
one, runs for one. I can see that potentially happening with Payton Thorne in this game. And listen, again, we're giving slight book here, because if all of this goes the way that we're saying, Jarquez Hunter 25 catches, Payton Thorne 200 yards, Payton Thorne rushes for one, throws for one, Auburn probably is winning this game running away, right? But here's the thing. I can realistically see all of these things happening. That's not pure book. Like, these are things that could actually happen in this game. So I'm going to go facts on the ability for them to get that in there. Let's go with P Pass next here, who says Factional Auburn scores first in this game.
I'll say nah. We've been bugging a lot, so I'll say nah.
Not mad at the book on that one, or the anti-book on that one. Scoring first in this game. Um, I'm going to join you. I'm going to say no on this one, just because I don't know that I think this team has shown a little bit of resilience in especially the last couple of weeks of just trying to find ways to make these games interesting / win these games. I don't think scoring first is going to be necessary to keep the team on pace for any sort of win in this game. I'll go nod that Bama gets the first score in this game and then runs out of gas after that. They're going to come in all hyped up and talking junk, and then they run flat.
Yeah, as long as we don't fall down by like 17, then I'm okay.
We'll jump in here, grab one from Brad Browning, who says, Facts or not, we hear that Ryan Williams is only 17 more than 3 times during this game.
Pound the over.
Yeah,
Facts.
definitely. Yeah, I'm going to join you and say facts on this as well. Things that you will hear relentlessly during this game. The age of Ryan Williams, comments from DeMarcus Riddick are going to get mentioned over and over again. And then the intense recruiting battle between Auburn and Alabama for the services of Ryan Williams, and the flip of Perry Thompson from Bama to Auburn. Those 3 things will get mentioned ad nauseam. Like, I don't know that there's a number that you can say is safe for that, but it will get mentioned a bunch. That, and it's Kalen DeBoer's first Iron Bowl.
I was about to say the first one without Nick Saban. That one's going to be said a whole lot too.
Definitely will. Darius Lee jumps in. Facts or not, Riddick gets at least 1 sack on Milroe. What are you feeling about that one?
Facts. If you're DJ Durkin, you have to make this happen. Like, you have to manufacture something to make this happen. And man, if it happens early in the game, like first drive, Bama gets the ball and Riddick busts through and gets him. Man, turn up the juice on that Auburn sideline. Give me facts because I want to see it.
Yeah, I'm going to go facts on this one as well. I think DeMarcus Riddick will leap over a person if he needs to go get a sack on Jalen Milroe. He wants this so badly, because I think he's just been hearing it all week about his comments and, what he should say or what he shouldn't have said and all this kind of stuff. So he is determined to prove and back up everything he said. I do think that Bama's going to come in with a, hey, there he is right there kind of mentality and try to get 16 out of the play, run away from him, all this kind of stuff. I think that's going to happen. But at some point in time, Jalen Milroe is going to drop back to pass. DeMarcus Riddick is going to be the spy. Jalen Milroe is going to hold the ball just a second too long, and he's going to go get it. So I'm going to go with facts on this one, that Riddick gets him a sack in this game. Let's see here. This is an interesting one. Dustin Pace says, facts or not, Auburn wins the turnover margin in this game.
I'm going to go facts. I'm going to go facts on this one because I picked Auburn to win, and Auburn's not going to win this game. I don't see how Auburn can win this game if they go in there and they lose the turnover margin. You've played cleaner football. The talk about all season has really been about Auburn's turnovers, and I understand that, but lately it's kind of fallen off, and it's just the Cal game stands out. The Arkansas game was so bad. Like, those 2 games right there, was that 11? I think that's 11, and just in 2 games combined. I'm gonna go facts, man. I think Auburn can run the football, so that opens up so many other things for me. Like, I don't think Auburn is going to be facing 3rd and long a lot, and if Auburn can stay in 3rd and 2, if they can stay ahead of the chains, then you kind of limit. You limit situations that could cause a turnover. So ultimately, man, I'm going to go facts. I think Auburn protects the football. I think they turn around the hand to the 27 a whole lot, and I think that's going to open up the guys in the passing game.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go facts on this one as well, just to keep the book going, because I agree with you. I don't know that you win this game and lose the turnover battle.
Yeah.
I think you have to have that happen. Bama has been it doesn't feel like it, but pretty much as prone as Auburn to turning the football over this season, right? So it hasn't been a situation where they've been without turnovers. Texas A&M actually was a little bit less turnover prone, and Auburn still got a turnover in that game. So I think that Auburn can at least draw even with them in the turnover battle. So I'll go with facts on that one. Let's see, a couple more here, and we'll get out of here. I already did that one. All right, here we go. Dustin Pace jumping in. Facts or not, we have 3 100-yard offensive players for the 3rd game in a row.
I gotta go no on this one. I don't see that happening here. I think Jarquez definitely goes over 100, and I think the goal should be to just use KLS and Cam Coleman efficiently. I don't see those 3 guys right there getting 300 yards, and I don't know who anybody else. Maybe Rivaldo bust off a couple big ones, but I don't see that. I think Auburn wins the game. I think Auburn plays well on offense. I just don't see that particular thing working out. I'm gonna go no.
Yeah, I think I'm going to join and say nah. I think that, I mean, there's a little bit of a, kind of a backdoor into this of saying, well, Payton Thorne's passing yards is over 100, and then you have a 100-yard receiver and a 100-yard rusher. But I think what we mean is skill players at 3 of them at 100, where you had the 2 receivers at 100, and then you had the running back at 100. And if that's the case, I don't think the answer to that one is going to be facts. I'll go nah with this one as well. And I am looking forward to seeing myself be proved wrong on that, and Auburn have that happen, and it be an absolute destruction there inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium. All right, that is it, man. We are going to get out of here. I appreciate everybody for jumping in here with me. As always, these episodes are brought to you by the good folks over at the Rogue Shop. Make sure you head over to rogueshop.com. Use code REPORT. That is America's #1 online dispensary, whether it's sleep, stress, pain, anxiety relief. The Rogue Shop's got something there for you. Code REPORT gets you 15% off. That tells me that they have you hooked up over there. Before you all get out of here, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, make sure you share the content with somebody. We'll be back at you all pregame with our final thoughts as we enter into the Iron Bowl right there 30 minutes before kickoff. We'll be back until the next time. And as always, War Eagle.
Drive!